Hey there, folks. I just wanted to do this short video. I got a few minutes to go here. It seems like certain people just don't get it when I explain myself about certain things, like on race and things like that, the politics and whatever. I put a post on my Facebook page. And as a side note, I'm trying to cut down on Facebook because Facebook's getting a little too contentious and whatever. And you know, they like to censor speech that they don't agree with. But I made a post on my Facebook page a couple of days ago about the January 6th riots, or the so-called riots. The so-called insurrection, which it was not an insurrection and it wasn't a riot. And I don't do this because I have some political axe to grind or something like that. You know, a lot of people, when you get to talking like you do, people think you got a political axe to grind. Oh, you're a conservative, you're a Republican. Look, I'm a born again Christian, and I like to go by the truth. Regardless of your politics or whatever. But what I'm seeing going on in, the world today, as far as current events, is that people are using January 6th as a smokescreen. It's a distraction, and it's basically being used to distract us from what is actually going on in this country. More important things. People are concerned about how much their gas costs or their groceries and the price of inflation and the direction that this country is going in. But they keep pushing this January 6th rhetoric in our faces. I watched the January 6th, that incident on January the 6th. Last year, in real time, my wife and I were watching it on the internet, and a lot of the accusations that are flying about that day, they've been blown out of proportion. Only one person got killed, not 5 or 6 like they tell you. There was no policeman that got beat over the head with a fire extinguisher. One lady said she was just slipping in blood and all that. And a lot of you all out there who really don't understand what really happened that day, you just tend to believe it just at the drop of a hat, because it involved a man that you don't like, named Donald Trump. Now, let me tell you all something. I am not a fan of Donald Trump. I don't hate the guy. I have a sort of indifference to him or something like that. I did like his policies as president. I didn't vote for him in 2016 because I didn't think he would take the presidency seriously. But this is just to incriminate a dude, this guy, to incriminate someone for something that he did not do. Donald Trump did not incite a riot on January 6, 2021. He did not incite a riot. He said, first of all, he requested that they have, the National Guard to go up and guard the Capitol. Nancy Pelosi and her minions, they said, no, we don't need that. We can take care of this ourselves. But it was a setup. I've seen the clips of the security allowing the people to come into the Capitol. Now, we're talking about the Capitol building, the nation inside the nation's capital. Okay. Now, they have enough security there to have stopped that mob from getting close to the Capitol building. And the question is, why didn't they? That's the question. And we sit there and we say, oh, it was a riot, and they committed millions of dollars of damage. I'd like to know where the millions of dollars in damage came from, because the only damage that I could think of was one of the windows at the Capitol building. The lady that got shot, Ashley Babbitt, she was shot because she was, trying to break in and whatever, and a police officer shot her. Now, here's the ironic thing. The police officer that shot her was a black guy. Ashley Babbitt was white. Now, if that had been reversed, if Ashley Babbitt had been black and the police officer that shot her had been white, we wouldn't be hearing the end of this. They wouldn't be brushing over it like they are now, and they know it. But all this is a smokescreen to divert our attention from what is really the concern of most Americans. Gas prices, the highest I ever seen in my entire life. Groceries going up. The cost of products in general going up. But they want us to focus on January the 6th. This day was just as bad as September 11, 2001. This day was just as bad as December 7th, 1941. Nowhere near it. But they are ignorant. No, I'm not going to say ignorant. They neglect to mention just a year earlier, well, not even a year earlier, several months earlier, that previous summer, about the riots of Black Lives Matter and Antifa, in which $2 billion of damage was committed across the country. They ignore that. And then they'll tell you that those people who were involved in those riots, they were peaceful protesters while cities burned behind the reporters. They'll tell you, those were mostly peaceful protests. Basically, the incident at the Capitol building was mostly peaceful. You had some idiots got up there and, wanted to break in and whatever. And I still have my questions about that. But that was mostly peaceful. And how do I know? Because I watched it in real time. A lot of y'all just saw clips of it on the news. I watched it in real time. No, I wasn't there in body or whatever, but I saw it over the internet, and it was no riot. But this is just a smoke screen, and I put this up and people want to talk about voter fraud. I didn't even mention voter fraud. I'm just saying the incident in particular is not as bad as people made it out to be. I didn't say anything about voter fraud. Well, that came about because of, people's, people accusing certain folks about voter fraud. I didn't mention voter fraud. I'm just saying that this incident was blown out of proportion to support, and it was blown out of proportion to support a certain political ideology. Now, for 4 years, we listened to people on the left bloviating and getting their panties in a bind about how Donald Trump was elected to office. They say things, it was Russian collusion. And we listened to you guys, those of you all on the left, for 4 years talking about he was an illegitimate president, and that the only reason he beat Hillary Clinton was because of Russian collusion. They went through that with a fine-tooth comb, and no evidence ever emerged that Donald Trump colluded with the Russians. But some of you all still believe that to this day. And it's not because you actually have the evidence that he colluded with the Russians. It's because you want to believe that. Not because you are overwhelmed by the evidence or anything like that. You want to believe that because you do not like Donald Trump. And the sad thing about it is there are Christian, so-called Christian people who go along these lines, who believe that mess. Because, you know, their skin color is more important than the truth of God's word. But you got so-called Christian people who want to believe that mess. And they have no evidence that Donald Trump colluded with the Russians, but they still want to believe it. But this is, all this is to fit a political ideology. That's all it is. They just want to make it, they just want to paint conservative Republicans as the violent ones, which they are not. When Barack Obama won the election those 2 times, you didn't see riots in the streets or anything like that. You didn't see them throwing water on people when they were going to the presidential ball when Donald Trump was elected. You didn't see that. But you all want to paint this, and the mainstream media has a part to play in this. Because they put that image before you. They'll put the image of violent conservatives, but when it comes to violent liberals or people that fit that ideology, they just gloss over it. Oh, nothing to see here. White cop shoots black kid. Oh yeah, that's going to make the news. Black kid shoots another black kid. It'll make the local news, but it won't go nationwide. People, we need to stop being ignorant to what's going on. I need to get in here, get to work. But you all have a nice day. Hope you enjoy your day. This is Vincent E. Brown. I'm signing off. Until the next time, I'll see you on the rebound.